All right, for a Wednesday, the ladies are in the house.
Yeah.
Indeed, we are.
Back.
Which means we have the right to talk about some topics probably the guys might not have as much information about. I won't say they won't know anything about this, but there was a post online, I believe it was Mary that brought our attention to it.
Okay.
And it was actually a really interesting thought that came to my head. Basically, a businessman revealed, that a hospital refused to immunize a baby.
Boy.
A baby boy.
For having his hair braided. The nurse said, I'm not going to, vaccinate this child because I'm against the child's hair being plaited.
When I saw it, I was first of all taken aback. Because what does the hair have to do with the job that the nurse is supposed to do? That is the first question that comes to mind. And
she's the morality police, I beg.
morality police.
Yes, for the hospital. Please go on.
Wait, is it considered immoral for a boy child to have hair?
For some people it is.
How?
I just said it's against their religious beliefs.
Yeah.
Their...
Also, for some people, it's also against their values. It's against their cultural beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when next we go to the hospital, we need to maybe carry
A cap.
a
placard.
hat, yes. Like,
Yeah,
please have mercy. Help me and vaccinate this child.
Yeah, please try to
Have
put your
mercy.
religious biases.
Please, just
cultural
pity us
biases,
so that our child will not die of
exactly.
diseases.
But it just actually brings me back to, it just took me back down memory lane. The girls, the twins are 10 now, and going on 16, the way they behave. But the issue now is, when we were going for vaccinations then, it was a whole hullabaloo. We had so much to carry, because there's two of them. And we had been going to a private hospital that had a list of vaccinations. But then there were some vaccinations that were not on the general list. There's the full state recommended list, and then there's the ones that the private hospitals give you. So you might not be able to get all of the vaccinations in one place. And I didn't think...
what you have to get from a public hospital.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, the same way we used to carry we even used to carry, some entertainment. I used to carry snacks.
You should know Titi now. Extra.
But my mom, used to insist, we go prepared. But then for this particular one, we were going to a government hospital. It was different. My mom was like, we don't need that. We don't need that. Let's leave that at home. And we used to use a buggy to push them there. And she was like, nah, we're not taking a limousine into a government hospital. I was like, limousine? So how are we going to carry? She was like, we'll carry them in our hands. I was like, okay.
Wise woman.
Yes, wise woman.
Please go on.
Got there. One of the twins began to cry for food, which, as they do. And I did the thing I always do. My express breast milk, brought it out of the bottle with the bottle and began to feed. If you see how these nurses pounced on me. Kilele,
What happened to your breast?
what happened to your breast? Can't you bring it out?
How about your mammary gland?
Bring it out. You don't want to show. What have we not seen before? I was like, wait. This is breast milk. It's just in a bottle. That, honestly, I think we actually delayed the whole process for that day because I was being stubborn. But my mom was like, don't worry, we'll feed them later. I'm like, I can't feed my baby here. But I'm just saying there's some things I feel need to be reviewed. Some processes, some ideologies that need to be reviewed, even in the government hospitals. But I'm wondering what sort of experiences you ladies had on vaccination
I actually
days.
just want to make a comment on that too.
okay.
Because, so the thing is this, many nurses they have certain things they've been taught.
Okay.
So like the expressed milk and all, they would expect that, okay, if both of them were asking to be breastfed at the same time, they believe the milk you brought was supposed to be backup while you are nursing one.
Okay.
There's this thing, even when you talk to nurses, they'll tell you that it's healthier and more hygienic to just simply breastfeed directly.
And also
so if you do it in
bond
their,
with
and
your
helps with your
child.
bonding. So if you do that in their presence, if it's not just a Nigerian thing, they would encourage you. It's your choice eventually.
Yeah.
No, but I know Nigerian nurses, they act like they are your mothers.
Yeah.
You have to do what they say, but it's your choice,
I was
actually.
going to bring that to your attention. I was going to say the same thing that, so what they're doing is not wrong. It is the mode of communication.
Exactly. It's usually the mode of communication that is the problem.
Is. So I believe that at this point, maybe we should begin to suggest some sort of reorientation.
Yes.
In their mode of communication, because it has to be better. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It's usually aggressive, like don't you know? You should know what to do. I feel like it could be more with empathy, especially because you don't even know if this woman. So, for example, imagine if you had a sore.
Yes.
On your nip, or right.
Yeah.
So
or,
what they
you're
will do
going
is
through some sort of emotional, mental
issue.
issue
Yes.
at the time. Okay, let me use my. What happened to me as an example. So during when I had Eliana, my mom, I think, my mom's, dealing with all of that, and then having her, I was emotionally and mentally distraught. So I didn't even breastfeed her as long as I could have. And then even at that point, I stopped lactating. At 4 months, I'd stopped lactating.
You were really stressed.
Yes, because I was mentally drained, right? And then I started just administered formula to her. Do you understand? So in that sort of situation, if I had been in your shoes
And that
and
hospital
that
would have
happened to
flipped,
me,
of course.
I would have. Everybody would get it.
Yeah.
The matron will get it. The owner of the hospital will get it because I would have gone on them, right? So they need to understand that people are dealing with so much. So when you are helping out with a piece of information, do it with love.
Yeah.
Let it come from a place of empathy. It's very important.
This one was not lawful.
So that's usually the issue. So you want to, in quotes, call out the mother in front of other mothers so you can teach other mothers a lesson. And that usually comes off as silly at the end of the day. At the end of the day, because you can simply go to the mother and say, why don't you breastfeed? You understand? But no,
benefits of
you see, from the nurse's stand, they will shout, what are you doing there? Are you not breastfeed your child?
Even lightly. They will use Yoruba.
No, but really, I personally, I have no issues with nurses correcting their patients. They are more knowledgeable about all of these things, but really, they just need to do it from a place of love. Shout out to all the good nurses. I've met quite a number of wonderful nurses. And for those who still have a few things to learn, please just take a cue and do better. That's it.
Or should we say those that read their textbook backwards? I'm just saying.
We will go to the hospital tomorrow.
Stories, share your own experiences with us.
Yes,
people.
please.
Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigerian. Say we got to go now, people.
We'll be back soon.
Back short.